What is up, guys? Listen, this weather is so crazy. It's not, you can't even explain it. So like 2.5 weeks ago, we were starting to build the cabin on the school property, which I'm gonna show you a little bit in this video, but we literally had t-shirts on, the sun was out, it was so gorgeous. Now it's like 30 degrees, windy, I have to put gloves and a hat back on and bundle up because it is cold. It's not that cold, but I mean, you get it's crazy. The other thing I know somebody's gonna ask is what's up with the crazy van, and it's my favorite thing. I don't know if it's my favorite thing, but it is, it's awesome. I'll give you a quick tour of it here in a second. So that, my friends, is my Dodge Ram high roof van. The thing is just awesome. So the first thing you're gonna notice is that I got those oversized wheels and tires right there on it. People say, well, is that all-wheel drive? Unfortunately, not all-wheel drive. It's like the only downfall I found with the thing so far. So when I originally bought the van, I wanted something that was reasonably priced. I don't do like off-road driving or anything like that for the most part. It's mostly just driving around the streets or driving around local. But what I found out really quickly was when I was on the school property here, especially when the ground's wet, like the street tires that came on this thing, I get stuck everywhere. Now it is front-wheel drive, but it would just get stuck everywhere. Like I would constantly get stuck. So I thought, well, if I put some awesome tires on, it's gonna make the thing look good. And then on top of that, what's gonna be awesome is those tires should help me at least get out of the mud, which they do, so success all around. But let me show you inside real quick. A bunch of gear, I got my cooler, more gear. And then this is cool too, look. Saws, axes, shovels, and then I just have a gear load out here. So more gear. This is like my go-to, like if I need to swap something out quick, and then some tools and maintenance stuff. Now today's video is going to be about going out and just hanging out in the woods, cooking a little bit something to eat, and just having a good day. And I know a lot of you come to this channel though because you like to learn new skills and you like the tutorials. So that's why today's episode is brought to you by Skillshare. Now, if you're not familiar with Skillshare, Skillshare is an online learning platform that has thousands of classes that you can learn and explore all types of new topics. Everything from photography to videography to business to ways to make your life more efficient. I mean, it's all on there. And I'll give you a quick example. Recently, I shot a video about my lifestyle and how fitness and the outdoors and my family all play a big part in what I actually believe in. And part of that film I made not only shooting with my big camera, but also my iPhone. And a lot of those ideas I got from a Skillshare video that I watched, iPhone filmmaking, how to make cinematic films using just your iPhone. So Skillshare is giving away 2 free months of their premium membership to the first 1,000 people to click in the description box below. Go explore your creativity. So thanks Skillshare for giving me some good information and also for sponsoring this video. Now we're gonna go make some food. Here's the cabin so far. It's coming out pretty awesome. So I am super pumped about the whole cabin build out here. This is where the wall tent used to be, but the wall tent, as I talked about in another video, totally trashed. So we built this. This is gonna be way better though. But I wanna show you a couple awesome things. So we're putting wood, like siding on there, just slow. As I get to it, I put it on. I also got to finish up the roof. The roof just has the black tar paper on right now. We have some cool roofing that we're going to be putting on there. And then once all that's done, it's literally like the inside needs to be awesome. Like I want to feel like I'm so far remote in Alaska that Dick Prenicky would be envious. Oh my God. I crack myself up sometimes. Let me show you this door because the door is absolutely great. All right. So it looks like a normal door in general, right? Normal door. Haha, feed Mr. Ed. So I did a Dutch door I'm not a carpenter, but it came out really, really well. So I'm super excited about this overall. The cool thing is if you cut a Dutch door at an angle, okay, so this opens up, that can open up, but if I grab it at the top, you see that angle lets the whole thing shut. So it's great. I'm so proud of this, that's why I wanted to show everybody. What we got going on is we got some steak to cook and just hang out in the woods. That's it. Easy breezy day. And this is choking me because the wind stopped now. I don't even like those things. This looks like a great spot. I'm gonna show you guys some cool stuff. So I recently just got this. It's it came from a mess kit. I think it was a Boy Scout mess kit, but it's just a little pot. Okay, you see it's nice and new, and nice little lid. But this to me is like, it's gonna work perfect to cook stuff in if I don't need a big bush pot. So if I'm making something like today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some of this, which if you watched, oh my gosh, I think it was 2 years ago already, my wigwam video, these steaks. So we call them black diamond steaks. We'll talk about more about that in a minute. Nobody cares right at the second. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a fire, we're gonna cook, and have fun while we're out here. The thing is, when I got out of the van, I was like, wow, there is a nip in the air. Whew. Now I'm out here moving around and it's not that bad, but when that wind picks up, it's rough. So I'm gonna set up, even though right at the current moment, the sun's out and I don't feel like I need anything, I'm still gonna put a windbreak up behind me. So the easiest thing I found with that is just make a real steep lean-to and just let your tarp catch everything and then just sit here. It's gonna block the smoke from blowing around, fire out front. It'll be great, because I'm not worried about rain. It's definitely not gonna rain. So this is literally just blocking out some wind. I wish I had something else cool to show you, I don't think. I think just the steak in the pot. I was literally so excited for this. So as I'm setting up my tarp, I'm like, I know exactly what I was gonna tell all these people, and that was that I didn't bring a belt knife. So I have my pocket knife and my axe. Now, if you remember in the last video, I said I go out, I usually make these little challenges up for myself while I'm out here. So sometimes it's not as specific as the last time, flint and steel, find and make the fire. Today we're just gonna make the fire and cook, but I'm gonna play with my new bush pot. But I am, like I said, going without a belt knife. So we're gonna just use an axe for everything. If we can't get it done with an axe and my pocket knife, I'm not even gonna pull my pocket knife out. If I can't get it done with my axe, I'm not getting it done. And that quick tent peg. Listen, if you were at my school and you came back with this thing, I'd be like, no, go back in the woods. Just too short, the ends are a mess. But I own the place. I guess I could do whatever I want. It was just laying here. It was so nice. That maple was down. It's so quick, so easy. So you can see there's a bunch of sag in here. I really should have a center tie out, but the reality is that I don't care that much, just because of the fact that it's just literally here to block the wind a little bit, and that's all I'm worried about. If it seems like it's pulling the tent pegs and stuff, we'll tie it up later. But as of right now, just enough to block the wind and get a fire and do all that other cool stuff. So, all right, let's get that fire going. All right, so almost ready to rock and roll here with everything. Today what we're gonna use is, what is this? So my good buddy Mark gave me these things, fire starters called Fast Fire. He said he loves them. Now before I rip the bag open, we're gonna rip and peek. I think he said that he just lights the whole bag with a lighter. So we can try that. Let's open it and see. It probably looks like one of the fuel tabs. Yeah. just like a white, is it gooey? So that, I'm not gonna pull it out because I want it in there. So that'll be it. I'm gonna say that thing would light with a ferro rod. Should we just open it? Let's just open it. We're gonna light some of it with a ferro rod and see if the package burns. All right, let's do this. So I just got this log over there. I split it. Part of it was exposed, so we're gonna chop down into it. It's all wet. All right, that'll still work because we're advanced. So much for only using my axe. I'm gonna strike my ferro rod. So now I'm gonna use the awl on my knife. So we'll just, game's over. Ferro rod. We won't even, oh, look at that, thing's already burning. Mark, I love them. Okay, so that is crazy. So let's not, we don't even have to get a lighter out at this point. Let's just see if this was in the bag. Does the bag just catch on fire quick? No. Oh, there it goes. It does go pretty quick. All right, so I'll give that a thumbs up. Get some wood on top of this. I'm actually gonna dump this to the ground and drop some wood on there. So a big thing you gotta watch, which is also important when you are out here with the wind, is not only protect yourself from the wind, but watch, like in my case, I'm building this campfire. It's, I don't want to say it's dry, but the sun's been out and the wind's been blowing, so everything seems more dried out. So you don't want to catch all the leaves on fire. So you see, I put those 2 dry sticks down. There is some method to my madness here. With that, that's gonna block it a little bit. I don't have to clean as much. I don't have to dig any rocks up. And then I can put my pot, hopefully right on that V section, and we'll be good. So, all right, now on to lunch. Did I lose my lunch? It's here. So in my wigwam video a long time ago, I talked about these steaks. Everybody's like, where do you get them? Where do you get them? Other people were like, they look like dog shit. Okay, so the point being of that, so we call these black diamond steaks around here. Black diamond has always been referred to like coal, like, because we're in a coal region, black diamond. So that has always been a thing. And I think that's why it's called here. But I finally found these online. If you Google Tyson brand, so Tyson Meats, black gold steaks, these things come up. They're awesome. This one looks a little small, but it's gonna be good. All right. They're usually about 6 ounces. It's a little bit thicker, so we're gonna cook this thing up. Now, one thing that I do at home all the time that I started doing out in the woods, if I just want to make a meal quick, is normally we don't have a grill grate. We can go and make a grill grate. We can skewer this thing and cook it. But an easy way to get past this is to just cube this thing up, drop it inside a pot, and then just cook the little cubes up. So like steak cubes, it works great. It's fast, it's effective, it's easy, and your lunch is done in no time. The thing is, I got to process this out with an axe. So we're gonna go over to a log while this fire burns and get after this. All right. So quick makeshift cutting board. Just clear some bark off the tree. Make a little flat section. You're good, because a little dirt never hurt. All right. Open that bag up. Slide this thing out. I feel like a caveman. This is great. So with these bigger logs laying in here, I can literally just lay this over just like that and be good to go. So while my steak is cooking, what I thought was we'll do a little bit of question and answer. So I used to do this thing called question and answer Wednesdays. I got away from it. It was like the same questions over and over, but I think, I don't think I'm gonna bring them back anytime soon. In the future, probably. As of right now, no. I can go over a few questions that I know people ask all the time. So the first thing that we get more emails about, and I think I answered this already, where do you actually go to do this kind of stuff if you don't have your own private land? And that's always a very hard question to answer. The reason why is, first, I don't know where you live. I don't know what the rules and regulations are. You don't want to break any laws doing this stuff. So my recommendation always is try to find someone who has some property, offer to help them with their property, either cutting grass, or if it's a farm, like to do some farm work a couple weekends a year or something, in return to just let you go out in the woods. And you could really, I think there's a huge misconception when it comes to bushcraft that we are literally out destroying the forest. And listen, there are times in some of the bushcraft stuff, and even the old timers you look at, you know, you can cut down 50 trees to make like a wiki up or something type of shelter. But modern, what we do for the most part, most of it can be done with sticks you find on the ground. If you're going to cut saplings and you're very selective with that, you're not damaging much. I mean, if you go in an area, especially like here, where there's 50 saplings and you cut down 5 of them, you know, not much is, you're helping the other trees get more nutrients and more light, and most of them are going to die off anyway as they grow, and only the strongest survive kind of thing. So really easy, you know, to leave very minimal impact. So I think people right away, they think, oh, I'm going to make a bushcraft camp, and it's like rake every leaf out of the area and make a million benches and make a mess and cut down big trees. And I mean, you honestly don't have to do that. You can scavenge and really have a nice setup and a nice camp. I set up a tarp. Now there's no impact on that. I used dead branches for my tent pegs. I used dead branches for my toggles. My campfire, I didn't even haul rocks from anywhere. So once this is totally out, I can literally cover that over with leaves if I wanted. Leave here and there's just gonna look like somebody was sitting here because the leaves are gonna be crushed down a little bit. Like, it's literally that easy with stuff. And there's more than enough wood on the ground right now, especially this time of the year, to carve things. So, you know, it's something to think about. And it also gives you options that if you're in an area like game land or something like that, you know, you could pick up a dead stick and carve it. You're not cutting anything live. You're not, just go away from everybody and don't leave a huge trace of anything or any trace. Pick up your dead sticks as you walk, or if you see a fresh down tree, you know, it's gonna rot away anyway. So you can take a couple little pieces of that and utilize it. And then don't let cordage and paracord and all lay around, and you'll be fine. So that would always be my suggestion. So I know that was long-winded. My suggestion being, find somebody who has property, offer help, because if you have large amounts of property, you can always use more help. And normally that person will say, yeah, you can come on here, or no, and then go to the next person kind of thing. And if you don't have anybody you could do that with, then, you know, you have to figure it out from there about just going out on your own to a park or something and finding and using dead wood or downed wood and have it that way. So you can definitely get this done. When it comes to the camping aspect, you know, you can always rent a site at a state park, or if you have parks in your area that you can rent campsites from. And man, you can, even though there's a fire pit and people around, you could still do all this stuff. You could still sleep with your wool blanket on the ground. You can do it all. So just keep that in mind with everything. It doesn't have to be extreme for anything. Or you come to a class here. We had a lot of people that came through a bunch of our classes. They came once, and then we have all these other small little seminars throughout the summer, so they get time to do it there. And then if we really like you, we have you come back to some of our other events and stuff. Parties. Whenever I say event, it's party. So it's a good time. But yeah. So that's the first question. Second question is how much money to spend on bushcraft gear, because I show stuff, like I just showed my pack. That's like a $400 Filson pack. Here's the thing, you don't have to spend that much money. What you need to realize too is, if I do work with a company, sometimes I get free stuff, okay? So you don't always have to spend a lot, but you don't want to go, I would rather you not get something for a while and then get something really good than just buy a bunch of junky stuff. Because when I first started doing all this, I would buy junk because I'm like, it'll get me through. And then I have to buy it 4 or 5 times, all this different junk, and then I was like, I'm just gonna buy the good things so I don't have to keep going through it. So I always say save up your money and get the best gear you can. and it'll last you a lifetime. Most of the companies out there making stuff are gonna make that are good high quality, that are gonna cost a lot. Most of that stuff, not all, but most of that stuff is gonna be lifelong and put together well. So that would be my second thing. And third topic, and then my steak is probably gonna be done. What kind of footwear do I wear? So these boots, they're Red Wing Ironton boots. Do I think they're the best woods boots? I don't know. I honestly don't. They look good, they're real robust, they hold up really well with stuff, but they're not the most comfortable boot. And listen, I wore them and they're soft. I mean, they're broken in. If I'm on my feet all day with them or all weekend, my feet start to hurt. So they're not, but they look good. They're rough and tough, okay? But if you're gonna hike, forget it. That is not what you want. I also wear LL Bean, the Bean boots. They make 9-inch and 12-inch. I like the 12-inch because I'm taller. They fit me better. They're a little bit higher. And then they make one like an 18, way too high. It's crazy looking. So I think the 12-inch Bean boots are good. They take a lot of time to get used to walking in because they're soft, there's no support. But once you get them and you get comfortable with them, they're great. So that's like my wet weather winter boot. And then this Ironton boot now for 2 years has been my boot of choice for during the day. So during the like normal weather. So that's what I do. With footwear. Socks, I literally wear Hanes socks. I know that some people are crazy with socks and they want wool and they want, in the winter I try to wear a heavier sock with my Bean boots to keep my foot warmer, but I really don't care that much. And I've never put a sock on and thought the performance was there that like different than putting my good old Hanes socks on. All right, so that's the steak when it's all done. Now this steak is marinated in something. What? I have no idea. People I know have made marinades close to it, but it doesn't rival, like it's different. Nobody has made a marinade yet that I've tasted that is identical to this. Today's a great day in the woods. This is great. Campfire, a little bit of steak. Wonderful. There's a leaf in there. Let's not eat that. I probably ate already some bark or something, but. One other question I know people are gonna ask. Why didn't I show the build? I know I covered some of this stuff, but about the cabin. I'm not a good carpenter at all. Like, I got it done. Mike Gasper helped me, and my brother-in-law Conrad Kaler helped me with that, up to where it's at now with everything, so it came out okay. The video would have been horrible, number one. But, number two, as soon as we get that done, I gotta get the inside sort of started at least. I'm gonna do a series on living out of the cabin for a while. So I'll come out here, I'll live in the cabin and film it. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna do one in the summer because it's gonna be new, summer's coming. I don't wanna wait. And then dead of winter, I'm so excited to do it because when it snows and I'm staying in the cabin, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for it. So don't worry, that's definitely gonna happen. You'll definitely see a lot more of the cabin. And I just gotta figure out the inside, what I wanna make that look like. Because the outside's gonna look awesome when it's done. Like, that vision is already complete in my head, but inside, I don't know. And this is why I get hung up with the inside. Ideally, if you make it that it has, like, say, a bunk bed or something, and there's 2 people can stay in it, there's more than enough room. You can have a table, your gear, your stove, all that. But the reality is, I need to be able to fit probably 4 people in there. We used to sleep 4 people in the wall tent, and it was okay. No, 3 people. 3 people. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing my mind. 3 people, super comfortable. 4 people, it was still okay. It wasn't tight. So one thing I got to figure out with the inside is how I want to set it up. In fact, that sleeping arrangements are a big thing. It would be so nice to say, oh, I'm going to put a single bunk bed in there and 2 people stay in and it's comfortable. There's more than enough living room. So a couple problems with that. Number one, if my wife and kid come with me and they want to stay there, that's 3 of us. So already I needed another bunk. If my instructors are here and there's 4 of us total, not everybody can fit in there because there's just not enough beds or cots or whatever. So not that we can't fit physically, but I need to figure out how I want that set up, because I don't want to walk in and just be like all beds in a stove. That's how the wall tent was, and I never liked that. I like to be able to have a table to work and cook at, and a place we can have our gear and everything. So we thought about a small little loft area, because there's the roof, it's high enough that we can do that, but I don't know yet. So if you have any good ideas with that bedding type or sleep type arrangements, let me know. We have bunk beds built from the wall tent, but nobody ever wanted to sleep on the top bunk. I don't know why. Well, the wall tent was terrible. You had like this much room between you and the roof. This you would have more, but still, I don't know if people want to be on a top bunk. Maybe now that there's more room, the top bunk would be more viable. I'm gonna say most people would say no. We thought about fold down beds off the wall, but still, like when you do that, it's still the bed. Nothing's really going to be there permanently because the bed has to be able to fold down. So I don't know. So I'm so up in the air with what to do to just maximize space and sleep occupancy in there. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But what I definitely need is I need room for 3 to 4 people, 4 people preferably. I need somewhere we can store some gear, the stove, some area to keep some wood, and we need a work table area. So somewhere that we can process our food, prep our food, cook our, well, not cook our food, but you know what I mean, the whole food situation. And what else do we need in there? I think that's about it. So if you come up with a good idea, leave it in the comments below. What a nice day out. I'll tell you, this is my kind of day. Just out here, getting, see, it got cool again, but getting stuff done, enjoying the weather, and waiting for the next adventure. All right, and I think that's pretty much a wrap for my little quick afternoon lunch in the woods. Answered a couple questions, showed you some cool stuff. I'm gonna go just hike around now a little bit and see what else is going on out here. The change of seasons always is like new. You feel like you find new stuff every time. So hopefully the weather breaks. Hopefully everybody is happy, safe, healthy through all this, and totally enjoying yourselves. And while you're home, you can be practicing your bushcraft skills. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So again, thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and thanks to Coalcracker Bushcraft for sponsoring this video. Check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com. And then finally, stay in the woods.